I'm going to say something controversial, and I genuinely need to know if you felt this too. Modern gyms are making us weak, not just physically, structurally, neurologically, in ways most people don't recognize until something tears, snaps, or just stops working the way it used to. You've done the sessions, you hit the numbers, your chest press is up 30 pounds from last year, your arms look better in every photo, and yet last Tuesday, picking up a single bag of groceries, your lower back sent a warning shot so sharp it stopped you mid-step. That's not a coincidence, that's a pattern, and millions of people are living it right now. Drop a comment immediately. Tell me, what's the one piece of equipment in your gym you feel forced to use even though something about it has always felt wrong? I'm reading every one, because what you say down there is going to confirm everything I'm about to show you. Here's where I stand, and where this channel has always stood. Modern life makes us soft. Primal movement makes us unbreakable. We don't just lift weight here, we reclaim our nature. That's not a tagline, that's a diagnosis. And today, I'm going to show you the 3 things that machine-based training is actively destroying in your body, and a 3-step protocol to take every single one of them back. Stay with me, because the second half of this video is going to change what you do the next time you walk into a gym, or decide to walk right past the machines. Let's start with something the gym industry doesn't want you to calculate. The global gym equipment market, machines, cable systems, guided path devices, is worth over $50 billion. That infrastructure was not built around what's best for your body. It was built around what keeps you coming back, feeling productive, and not getting hurt in a way that generates a lawsuit. That's the design brief. Convenience, safety, the illusion of progress. And here's the one thing I want you to walk away with even if you stop watching right now. Any movement where the machine controls the path is a movement your stabilizers are skipping. Write that down. That single sentence explains almost every mysterious injury, every plateau, every time your gym strength failed to show up in the real world. Fixed path machines remove the neurological demand from every muscle that isn't the prime mover, the quads, the pec, the lat, while every stabilizer, every synergist, every deep contractile thread that would normally fire to keep your joint centered and your spine loaded correctly, it gets carried, week after week, month after month. And passengers do not get stronger. Passengers atrophy. Have you ever finished a machine-heavy training block and noticed a specific kind of stiffness? Not the soreness you earned, something wooden, like your joints want to move in rails even when there are no rails. That feeling is real. It's your body signaling that the intelligent, adaptive, movement-integrated system it is trying to be has been slowly outsourced to a cable and a seat. Comment below the one piece of gym equipment you feel obligated to use but that has never actually felt right. I'm reading every one. I want to tell you something I've never actually put on camera before. 3 years into what I thought was the best training of my life, numbers going up every month, body composition improving, energy consistent. I was playing a pickup football game with some friends on a Saturday afternoon. Nothing extreme, a casual game. Someone made a cut, I turned to follow, and my knee, my perfectly gym-trained knee, buckled. Not a full tear, but enough to put me on the ground, enough to take me out of training for 8 weeks, enough to make me sit in a physiotherapy office and hear the words, "Your quads are very strong, but your knee has no lateral stability at all." I had built a body that looked capable and was structurally fragile, not because I wasn't working hard, because the environment I was training in had never once asked my body to stabilize in multiple planes, to load laterally, to absorb force from an unexpected angle. The machine had done all of that for me, every single rep. That is the stabilization gap, and it is the single most dangerous thing about machine-dominated training. Here's the fact most trainers will never tell you. Your connective tissue adapts up to 10 times more slowly than your muscle tissue. Your quads can double in strength in 6 months. Your tendons and joint capsule might need 3 years to catch up. Machine training accelerates the muscle. It does nothing for the connective tissue. The gap between them is exactly where injuries live. So while your chest press number went up, your rotator cuff was operating at the same structural capacity it had 18 months ago. The machine created a power imbalance your body was never designed to handle. That's why gym-strong people get hurt doing normal things, not heavy deadlifts. They get hurt reaching for something overhead. They get hurt on a walk that suddenly became a hill. I want to hear your story. Drop it in the comments. A time you felt genuinely strong, hitting numbers you were proud of, and then real life handed you something your body couldn't handle. That moment when the gap revealed itself. You are not alone, and that experience is the beginning of understanding what we're about to fix. Stop.
I want you to think about the last time you trained and genuinely felt balanced. Not strong, not exhausted, balanced, like every part of your body knew exactly where it was in space and was operating as a single coordinated unit. When was that? For most people following a machine-based program, the honest answer is they can't remember, and the reason is neurological. Here's what almost no one in mainstream fitness is talking about. The problem is not the machine. The problem is the floor. Modern gym flooring, thick rubber matting, uniform, flat, predictably stable, was designed so no one twists an ankle on their way to the leg press. From a liability standpoint, that makes perfect sense. From a neuromuscular development standpoint, it is a disaster. Your body has a proprioceptive system, a constant real-time feedback loop that runs from the sensory receptors in your feet through your ankles, knees, hips, spine, and into your cerebellum. Every second you're moving, that system is processing the texture, temperature, angle, and resistance of the ground beneath you and making thousands of micro adjustments to keep you coordinated, balanced, and structurally sound. Now, place your feet on a flat rubber mat, sit down on a padded seat, and press against a fixed resistance. What just happened? You severed the feedback loop. The system responsible for your coordination, the one built over hundreds of thousands of human movement, just got told, "We don't need you right now." And here's what compounds over time. You don't just lose this in the gym. The gym adds to losses happening everywhere else. You sit at a desk for 8 hours, you wear cushioned shoes that mute the ground signal. You live in an environment engineered for stability and ease. Every one of those systems reduces the input your proprioceptive network runs on. By the time you've been doing this for years, the system doesn't just get weaker.
It stops trusting itself, and the result shows up as the one thing people never connect to their training: posture that gets worse even as the strength numbers go up. Because the seated, forward, rounded hip flexor dominant posture of the machines is the exact same position you're already spending 10 hours a day in. You're not training yourself out of office posture. You're reinforcing it with 100 reps a week. Do you train barefoot or in minimal footwear? Drop it in the comments. That answer alone tells me immediately who has already started reconnecting and who is still insulating themselves from the feedback their body is starving for. And I want the community's honest take. Do you believe that high-tech, heavily equipped modern gyms are making people less resilient? Not weaker in the mirror, less able to handle what the actual world throws at them? I know where I stand. Tell me where you stand. You stayed with me through the problem. That tells me something about you. The people who make it to this point in this kind of conversation are not here for motivational content. They are here because something in what I said already confirms something they've felt for a long time. That's who this channel is built for. You understand that modern life makes us soft, not because we're weak, but because the environment has been engineered that way. And you're here because you've decided that primal movement is the answer. You're not reclaiming your numbers, you're reclaiming your nature. That's the silverback standard. And if that resonates, you're already in the right place. Now, the protocol. 3 steps, no machines required. Step 1, the compound movement shift. Strip the program back to its foundation. Multi-joint, free movement patterns, squats and their variants, deadlifts, pull-ups with full range of motion, overhead pressing with a barbell or dumbbells, loaded carries, hinge patterns, rotational work. These movements are not new. They are not trending. They are what the human body was designed around over an incomprehensible stretch of evolutionary time. The machine circuit was invented in the last half-century. Your nervous system has not updated. When you train compound movements with free weights, you reactivate the stabilizers that the machines have been carrying. You reload the proprioceptive feedback loop. You force every layer of your musculature, prime movers, synergists, stabilizers, everything, to coordinate in real time. That coordination is what transfers, not isolated fiber strength. The organized whole-body intelligence of a system that has been asked to do its actual job. What are your current big 3? The 3 free weight movements that anchor your training, or if you've been machine dominant, the 3 you want to start with. Drop them in the comments. I want to see where the community's starting from. Step 2, the 3-plane rule. The human body moves in 3 planes: sagittal, forward and back, frontal, side to side, transverse, rotation. Conventional training, even with free weight, is dominated by the sagittal plane. Push forward, pull back, squat down, stand up. It's efficient, it's measurable. It's also critically incomplete. Real-world movement doesn't live in one plane. It spirals, it loads laterally, it absorbs force from angles that no barbell squat has ever prepared you for. The 3-plane rule is simple.
Every training week, you must have deliberate loaded work in all three planes. For the frontal plane, lateral lunges, cone planks, lateral band walks with load. For the transverse plane, medicine ball rotational throws, landmine press, cable wood chops, rotational step-ups. The sagittal plane takes care of itself. You've already been living there. Adding frontal and transverse work changes your body in a way that shows up everywhere outside the gym. The movement stops being mechanical and starts being athletic. The body stops operating like a forward and backward machine and starts operating like an organism. Which plane do you find hardest to train? I bet on the transverse for most of you. The rotational plane is the most consistently neglected and the one most likely sitting behind the injuries you can't explain. Drop your answer. And while you're there, what's your go-to approach for loading the spine intentionally without the safety net of a machine providing the structure? Share it. This community builds protocol together. Step 3. The sensory rebuild. Train barefoot when the environment allows, if not the most minimal footwear available. Let the ground signal reach your nervous system again. You will feel awkward the first few sessions. That awkwardness is not weakness. It is information. It is your body rediscovering a conversation it was forced to stop having. Slow down the eccentric phase of every compound movement, the lowering, the controlled descent. The eccentric is where proprioceptive demand is highest. Most machine training collapses the eccentric because the machine guides the return. Free weights do not. Use that. Own the descent. That's where stabilizers are rebuilt. Add uneven surface work progressively. Single-leg Romanian deadlifts that force balance in space. Split squats on a slightly unstable base. Loaded carries on varied terrain when you have access to it. And finally, begin every working set with 30 seconds of intentional contact. Feet on the floor. Feel the texture. Grip on the bar. The activation in your lats, your core, your glutes. Make the whole system conscious before you move. Over time, that consciousness becomes automatic. That is your proprioceptive system coming back online. Over 4 to 6 weeks of consistent work across all 3 steps, you will notice something specific. The stiffness after training changes character. It becomes the productive soreness of a system that was asked to coordinate, rather than the wooden stiffness of a system that was carried. That difference is the gap closing. Here's what makes this moment in 2026 remarkable for people following a movement quality first protocol. Wearable biometrics have evolved to the point where we can now measure the exact things machines were hiding from us. Movement quality scores, range of motion symmetry across left and right, force distribution through ground contact, asymmetry flags that detect a loading difference between your left and right hip before you feel it as pain. This data is not available in any machine-based training program because those machines don't capture it. They measure load moved, not how the body moved it. For the community following this protocol, these tools become a real-time mirror of exactly what you're rebuilding. You can see stabilizer recruitment improving week over week. You can track your proprioceptive calibration. You can set movement quality targets with the same rigor you set strength targets. What health tech or wearables are you currently using? Drop it in the comments. Not because I'm going to sell you anything, but because this community's collective real-world experience is more valuable than any review. Let's build that database together. But let me be precise about one thing. The data confirms and refines. It does not replace the work. The protocol comes first. The technology measures the outcome, never the other way around.
Which brings me to the challenge, the 30-day rewilding. For 30 days, no machine-based isolation training. Every session built on compound, free-weight, multi-plane movement. At least 3 sessions per week trained barefoot or in minimal shoes. Eccentric tempos enforced. 3 plane loading included in every week. That's it. If you are genuinely in, not just interested, not just curious, but committed to running this for 30 days and reporting back, drop "I'm in" the comments right now. I read every single one, because the number of people who take this challenge is going to determine the content we build on this channel for the next month. Your commitment shapes what comes next. And if this is the kind of training philosophy you want more of, the science, the protocols, the community, the subscribe button is right there. Hit it, because what we're building here is not a content channel, it's a movement. I want to close with something honest. We live in the most physically comfortable moment in human history. Our floors are flat, our paths are smooth, our machines absorb the difficulty so we never have to. Our chairs hold us up so we never have to hold ourselves up. And we call all of it progress. But your body is not a modern invention. It is an ancient system built over hundreds of thousands of years to move, stabilize, adapt, carry, climb, rotate, and recover from genuine physical challenge. It is capable of more than any machine circuit will ever ask of it. The question is whether you are willing to ask it of yourself. Modern life makes us soft. That is not a moral failure. It is the nature of the environment we've built. But we do not have to accept it as our physical destiny. Primal movement makes us unbreakable, not just in the gym, in the moments that actually matter, the ones that arrive without a weight selector and a padded seat, the moments that ask something real of a real body. We don't just lift weight here, we reclaim our nature. My final question for you, and I want a real answer in the comments, not a fitness industry answer, your answer. What does functional mean to you? What does it mean for your body to genuinely work the way it should? Tell me, because that answer is the foundation of everything we build together here. I'm Dr. Aris Thorne. This is Primal Unleashed. The standard has been set. I'll see you in the comments.